Hello, bridal party! This is the Alchemist Bride channel. This is the Alchemist Bride channel. Of course, I was on my own channel. Fool. I managed to unmute myself and then I muted myself twice. Cool. Did it again. Hello, welcome to the Alchemist Bride channel, and I am the bride. Welcome to my lab where I will be creating drawing experiments to get better at drawing. And today I'm still mixing things up with poses. Last week we played with these poses. A variety of the poses that came out. This was from Anime and Game Characters Volume 4. These are all actually from Anime and Game Characters Volume 4. A couple weeks ago, we played around with some definitely not Street Fighter poses. And now we're doing more poses from this book, Draw Comics with Dick Giordano. And it's like sketches and stuff. You can see one of the pages that I did last week on my screen, but let me bring up the new one and get started with drawing some more action poses here. Although I just realized the title for this is wrong, so I need to change this. Action. More action poses. I think I can do this. This episode is by the book because I'm using poses references. Okay. Stream info updated successfully. Yeah. And it is freezing cold where I am. What else? I think that's my only update. It's freezing cold where I am. And I'm going to try to do some poses. The reason I'm doing poses, for those of you that are new or watching this for the first time, I'm going to start a comic on webtoon called The Alchemist Bride, and I'm learning a bunch of poses in foreshortening, and on Thursdays I'm learning how to do backgrounds and perspective so that I can actually draw the comic a little bit better than I can draw now. Hopefully a lot better, but we'll see. That's the experiment. My hypothesis is that if I continue to do drawing experiments is that I will get better at drawing, so we will see if I'm right. Hopefully. So I'm going to start with, let's get a new sheet up here, because I feel like I did those poses. So let me find something else. Did that. Okay, looks like I've got this leaping, action, running, jumping page. See it right here. If you do have the book, again, this is Draw Comics with Dick Giordano. I don't know how old it is, but page 45 in this book. Uyaka Shah. I'm going to try to draw them. They're useful, I hope. Hopefully I'll have some poses that I can pull from so that when I go to do my comic, I'll have less work to do, ultimately. But I don't want to do the thing. I see a lot of the webtoon artists do it, and I understand why they do it, and I think it's an awesome tool, but they have the 3D model, and then they just kind of pose the 3D model however they need it, and then they trace over it. I think that's awesome. I would just like to be able kind of to do that without having to trace it. So we'll see if enough practice can get me there. I don't really know. I hope so, though. Okay. I'm going to start with this one on the left, bottom left. It's called Jumping Down. Gravity at Work, it says in the little caption. I do very rough sketches first just to get an idea of the layout. And my sketches, when I say rough, my sketches are very rough. Up here. Last time I was basically taking the pose out of here and then turning it into the type of pose you would see in like the how to draw books like this, where it becomes the skeleton type of thing, this sort of thing. So I might do that again. I'm not trying to get into detail here because these aren't the characters that I'll be drawing eventually, so it's me. It's more about the the feel of the pose. And if it's something I think I can use or not. Again, I hope so. If not, it's good practice either way. But we will see. We will see. And I did start, wait. I did actually, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let me open it. Hang on. I have, hang on. Wait. That's weird. Why is it hidden? How weird. Anyway, if I put this in the chat. I made a Discord. I did the thing. Somebody was asking me about it last week, and I did. So right now there are 2 channels in my Discord. They are By the Book, which is for today's stream, and then Reference Point, which is my Thursday stream where I do backgrounds. So things can go in there now. Or there's just a general bridal party chat where you can just talk at whatever. But I can check that now too. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I'll put that down there. We'll see what happens. So now that's a thing. I don't know how long that link is good, so those of you watching this on YouTube like 3 months after it's posted, sorry. Ask me again later. It'll probably still be there. Now that's all the updates. Yeah, I think I am just going to break this down into like the pose, like I talked about, the usual pose, like reference type thing. Hair's being annoying today. All right. Got a knee up here. Here's like kind of where his waist is. Oh, I made it too high already. The knee's here. This is all about relationships and figuring out where stuff is relative to other things in the picture. It's all about that. Let's see if I can distill this pose. If I'm gonna do this, I might as well do it from magazines. I don't even know how I'm messing around with art books. I am probably after today. I do have to get some new. So if anybody out there has any recommendations for how to draw poses and stuff, let me know, and next week I can address them. Looks like the knee's actually above a little bit and comes down, so this knee's here somewhere. Here's the thigh, leg. This is also an upturned foot. I don't know. Oh, okay. This distance is pretty much equal to this distance, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And this foot isn't turned as much, I don't think. Ankle. Knee. I think maybe a little skinnier. I'm not sure. Yeah. Let's see. This chest area. You know, it kind of does. He's kind of curving in a little bit, but not much, because this here is a pretty straight surface. And also, I think it's kind of like that going on. Then we've got shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist. I think. Got his head. Coming out here. This sort of thing, I think. If we're looking at the top one. A hand. So that means something in there. Comes out a little bit. Almost no bend. Almost no bend in this thumb right here. Hand. So I think that's that pulls right down at the bottom. Again, we have what I assume is the chest coming down here-ish. Here, this is the bottom. That's the bottom of the neck. I'm not really sure about the head, actually. I think I made it a little too low, so let me just scoop this up. Move it. So if we have the neck here, which makes more sense now, then we have also collarbone, shoulder comes up. You know, it's about trying to get the feel of the pose, trying to get it close. Now, does it feel like he's dropping down? Even that, seeing the bottom of the hand here is an important feature of getting the sense that we're under it and maybe the energy is coming down. You know, if it was just a stick figure, this kind of thing. A lot of things work with stick figures. You don't even have to do kind of where the hips are. Yeah, still have that kind of energy. I feel like it's dropping down. Actually prefer it in the stick figure more because I feel like I got a better curve there. But in the reference, there's not so much of a curve, so, you know, I could be wrong on that too. That, or maybe this just needs to be more else. Sometimes it's just a little adjustment, sometimes it's a bigger adjustment. It's hard to say. But it does look like it's falling, so. Great. Oh, I totally forgot about the thumb here. No, I don't know if the chin needs to come out that much either. Like that kind of thing. Alright, so there's a kind of a falling pose. That'll do for that for now. Over here. And again, I'm just making, you know, a collection of poses that hopefully I can use. Made the head too big. I do have a habit of making the head too big. I'll say that right now. On everything. I absolutely make the heads too big. Okay. Let's do the guy next to him who's basically doing a hurdle. I personally have never run hurdles. I would like to. I like jumping. Oops. Let's give myself a new layer here. There we go. Alright, so there is very much kind of this sort of motion. Whoop. My gosh, what did that help? That helps with nothing. This sort of motion, you know, we want to get this pull, almost like a wave going like this over. I don't know if it'll happen, but that's the idea, because obviously it's a hurdle. A hurdle race, the runner must jump without breaking stride. Jump and run becomes one fluid motion. So again, this should be a fluid. Not a lot of breaks in it. Their arm, they didn't even bother. They're just like, yeah, that's the other arm. Okay. I got my rough sketch. Again, I'm drawing bottom right hand corner. At least I know my right from my left this morning. Get on that. So I'm going to do the same sort of thing I did with the other pose. I'm going to try to find the main joints and apply them. There's a point today where I might just break into drawing my characters, because I've been wanting to do that for a while and I hadn't had a chance, and you know, I want to. Shoulder. I feel like I made it maybe not long enough or something. Is that right? Yeah, he's got just a little bit of a curve through the backbone here, and it basically comes straight down, as does this here. Now again, I'm not drawing the picture, I'm drawing the pose. So So what I'm looking for are joints and sense of movement. We do get a little bit of the bottom of the foot. There. That. This is all, you know, hip. Center line there. Okay. Big curve here in the neck. Big curve. And then we've got the head and the jaw, and that hand do overlap, so this is right, at least according to this, I think. Faces are in here. Neck. We have that other hand. That's like a hurdler. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. Gray. Yeah. That pose. We got a hurdler, we got a jump downer guy. Maybe he's hurdling over the jump down guy. Something is rattling on my desk and it's driving me nuts, and I can hear it because of course there's no music on my channel. Maybe one day. Okay, let's do another layer. I do like the pose on the top right. So I'm gonna go for that real quickly. And then I actually think I'm just gonna start drawing my characters. Because I need to. If I'm ever going to finish or even start my webcomic. I'm in the middle of designing the characters. I already know what they look like, but I don't know how to draw them consistently yet. So I have to figure out I forget what they call them, character sheets for lack of a better word, so I can reference them. Maybe they're reference sheets, I don't know. This doesn't have a lot of foreshortening. I wish these challenges, but they have a lot of action. I feel like the poses are very dynamic, but there's not a lot of foreshortening. The other book really focused on foreshortening and strange poses. Kind of, but I like these. think that's a good sketch there. Put this up a little bit. Okay, so guy here, leaping run guy. We have hurdle guy and we have jumping down guy. This is leaping run guy. Big line here, big line here. I believe pose is going to be something like this. You know, the ankle is big in the reference too. I guess I'm going to slim it down a little bit so it's not ridiculous. Knee. We have, wow, this pose is, it beautifully captures the motion. I feel like it's pretty. I love how this hand just, kind of, I don't know, submits to the pose, submits to the motion. A little bit more of that. Here. All right, so it looks like the neck pops out around here. So that's where we'll put. Front of the neck. Then we get some of this pectoral muscle in here coming across through to this extended arm. Another extended arm. I think the relationships are pretty close. I'll stick with it. Again, not really drawing the hands specifically, drawing kind of the shape and form of the hands. Kind of just communicating the role that the hands play in the drawing. Now we have this dude leaping into action. I think the head's a little bit small. Let me adjust it. I think that's kind of better. I don't know. I suffer from big head. I make my heads like too big, so now I'm worried about making them too big, so they might be too small, but I accept that. It's a correction nonetheless. I may be overcorrecting, but oh, what is up with this foot here? You can see it on my screen. The top right. Okay, like that. Yeah, we're seeing more of the back of the foot than I realized. Okay. And then the hip coming through right here. All right. 3 poses so far. Leaping guy. Hurdling guy. Jumping guy. I'm not totally convinced by this one. The other ones are so much more fluid. I mean, it could just be... I mean, this one is the most fluid. This one's okay. He looks more like he's stopping than he's jumping down, though. Maybe... Could be that I didn't make this arm. Let me just play with it a little bit. I feel like this arm isn't high enough, loose enough. In the drawing, in the reference, it's basically perpendicular. So maybe that's my fault. I mean, it's definitely my fault I drew it, but we'll see. I don't know if that'll make the difference. What do you think? That's probably better. It definitely looks more... Bring this one down a bit. A little bit more. Again, this is supposed to be a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's better. It's better. Definitely better. This is what it looked like maybe before. Whoops, I went back too far. Too far. Before. Okay, before. After. Yeah, that shift I feel like made a big difference in having this come down and getting this sort of energy from it. So good. That's a good adjustment to make. Because yeah, the whole thing is always drawing is always an adjustment, and it's kind of not done until you're done adjusting it. Okay. Let me see. That was kind of that page. There's the guy in the top left, but I'm not that interested in him. Let me see. Poses page. That guy. Is that it? That can't be it. Oh, here we go. I have more. Ooh, okay, this is, yes, recoiling motion. Hang on, let me switch out my reference picture here. Yes, so this whole, somebody getting hit, somebody getting blasted, the act of them going backwards. This could be powerful pose. Let's see how I do. No promises, but I think it's particularly hard because the head goes backwards. Shoulder here, it looks like, you know, and everything's sort of the snap, and this has a lot of foreshortening, but it still manages to be, you know, dynamic. Let's see. This is kind of parallel. This is, I feel like it's got a very, very powerful sense. Direction going this way. So he's got to feel totally like he's going back. Like that. It's an arrow. Can't see. My head's in the way. Okay. So we get the top of the ribs. It's important to look at what we see. Get the chest is here, but then this is the ribs, so we don't see the midsection as much. We do get the bottom. See the leg. There's a bit of a triangle shape happening here. Negative space. Negative space here. Here, let me put it in. We have this triangle here. We're going to have, see if I can even get this shape. It's like a wizard hat type of shape. You'll see what I mean. I think it's smaller. These are the negative spaces. Bear with me for a second while I put in the outlines again. So we have foot. And then this other foot, we're only getting the calf and the foot here. Great. And then the head, I mean the eye line is way up here. The ear is here. In the jaw. I think this is an incredibly difficult pose, so this is a really good reference for this. Collarbone, collarbone. Okay. That's my hand for now. I think this is a little closer, at least in the reference, so I'm going to try to stick to it. All right. Let's see if I can't get the structure, find the pose. I think I'm pretty close to this head, which to me is probably the most integral part to believability on the pose to get this part right. The head is cranking back. You don't want the head to look flat. This is what I believe to be the bottom of the nose. Mouth is somewhere here. Okay, then we have okay, we'll see. I mean, this thing, I personally would exaggerate it more. Oh, you don't want it to make it look broken though. I think that's kind of the trick. Don't want it to look broken, but you do want it to look like it's moving. All right, put in our shoulder, elbow, wrist. These should be equidistant usually. All right, we have big rib cage here. This is the chest. Put in the collarbone. Then we have kind of the waist. And then here, down here. Forget the bottom, and then so it comes over. Heavy hamstring area. Calf looks nice and placed. foot is going this direction. This is, you know, underneath the bottom ankle. I'll put an ankle here. Is that where they put it? They didn't even put an ankle in, but I'm going to put an ankle in because I think that's where it goes. See. Foot up. Right. Ankle. Alright, looks like we're only getting, I was wrong, you're only getting a little bit of that arm. I'm going to start with this side of the arm actually. Goes to the middle of the chest here, comes up. Let me get the forearm coming in ever so slightly. Just really curves through that. And then straight thumb, hand starting to reach. I don't know. I don't think I have that right. Hang on. I'm going to, it's a little bit more curved-ish. And ooh, I'm not getting the fingers that well. That's better. Okay, so again, this is the motion. He's going back. He got struck by something. Here, he's moving back. I think it's reasonable. I feel it's believable. I feel like you're getting that sense of him falling backwards. Just like this guy kind of lying down. Yeah. All right. So this guy over here. Here. Oh, it kind of looks like he's kind of kicking him. It's a fun little discovery there. This guy kind of jumping down. All right, let's see. I also like, and you're starting to see it, it's on the top left. I also like the falling from the other angle, but it's very similar to the pose I just did. Although I like how the hands are. We can do that. We can throw that one in here. Let's see. Arm. Space. I am so bad about planning my space on a drawing. Like, I'm so bad. Thank goodness for the resize like tool. What is rattling? It's driving me crazy. Ah. I don't know. It looks insane. No one's here to see it anyway. It's okay. All right. We've got the bottom of here. All right. Oh, see? I ran out of space. That's what I was saying. Really bad at planning out my space. Just terrible. Ooh. His hand is actually cut off in my version. This head is all the way turned. Okay, let me see. Let's see if we can get a usable pose out of this. See if I get the same type of falling energy going. Because on this one, the leg is foreshortened even more. Actually, even more than that, I think, because of where it needs to be up here. So we have this. Yeah, I know that looks weird, but I think that's right. The top of the foot kind of comes out there. Big curve on the back. Big shoulder blades. Okay. And this neck comes in. Oh, my hair keeps tickling my nose. Not gonna lie, you might see some of these poses in my comic. So I don't have to relearn them. Those are good references. And when you don't know, you gotta look. If you don't know, you know, how to make cookies, you look at a recipe, right? Just because you've eaten a cookie before or seen a cookie before doesn't mean you know how to make it. So you have to reference. So having the poses there is like the recipe for drawing, or part of the recipe anyway. And then practicing the poses is learning how to draw them. See, this is where it's crazy. This is the knee, and then this is the ankle. Like that. I think. Someone else may disagree. So the elbow comes to here, we got Muscle. Posy eye. This is actually part of the hand. Straight. Look at how straight this line is here, even though the finger is bent. Straight. Square top of the knuckles. Ah, what a great hand reference. I do think this comes in just a touch more. And then this one, this hand doesn't really have a reference over here. I kind of got to make it up. It's there, but it's obscured. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, first of all, it's almost at a 90-degree angle. That's the other thing about practicing different poses and learning, you know, anatomy and stuff is when something like this is obscured. It is in mine. You can see the other drawing is covering it. I'll show you. So the hand I'm dealing with is right there, and it's covered by this other hand, this other drawing. So you have to make it up. But the more you know and the more you practice, the easier it is to kind of make it up when you don't have the reference. Sometimes you'll have, you know, 70 or 80% of a good pose, and you might need to make up the rest. Well, how do you do that? How do you make it believable? Do you have just, I mean, he is. More severe curve there. I like to know you have knocked around guy too. Although, let me get this cart covered. This is in shadow. And then it's got these other areas sort of shadowed into. Right. It's the only areas it shows a shadow. I mean, I guess a little bit here. I personally would probably shadow this too, but I don't know for sure. Okay, well, there we go. 5 fairly dynamic fight scene poses. Fit somewhere, guy. Where are you gonna go? Let's see. Who can we move? It's weird. Getting a phone call. Never happens. I know you can hear the vibration. It's not, it's a, okay, they're gone. Good. Leave me alone. I'm in the middle of the stream. Okay. So we have our poses. It's the only one with any shading, but that's okay. I don't always put the shading on these because the pose does not necessarily determine the lighting. Like, it depends where the lighting is from, because if this thing was lit, you know, down here somewhere, then all of this would be bright, and then all of this would be like dark over here. So it just sort of depends. But that one had the shading and I felt like putting it in, so I did it, and I don't regret it. I still like it. It adds some of the definition in the back too, which I really like. Okay, let's see. Alright, enough of people getting knocked around for now. Okay. Just reading the notes in the book to see what's this next page here. Oh, this is actually true. This is true. This is going to be true blue foreshortening. This is like textbook style, which actually works for us. Textbook style. Foreshortening. The picture is awful. I'm sorry. I think you can make it out. But it's literally combining what I've been doing on Thursdays, which is the foreshortening exercise of, sorry, the perspective exercise of doing buildings with people. Right? So they're all in these like boxes. And that's how you can get to be able to foreshorten them around the end. Let's try one. I don't want to get too crazy with these. Let's see. I like the one where he's lying down on the bottom right. So I'm gonna go with that. Leave a message? Like, who was that? Oh, they were nobody. They didn't leave a message. They didn't do anything. It was just spam. Okay, good. Okay. So the thing with the perspective is we need, they're not showing them, but they're suggesting at least that there is a horizon line with a vanishing point, and then lines coming off that vanishing point. This, I mean, to me it looks like 1 point perspective. Let's go with it. They're putting it, they're suggesting, you know, that there's a box that basically somebody's laying in. Right. Okay, that's what kinda this is about. So, although my angle isn't steep enough for the example now, so keep this whole thing in mind, how we got here. Just gonna move this up. Whoops. Okay, and then let me see if I can't skew this whole thing down to the perspective that I think it wants us to playing with. This looks really confusing, I know, but I'm going to delete the rest of this. And that's how we're gonna get, you know, the box this is sitting in. Those were the steps that they took before, you know, they made the box. I think that's important. You can't just put down lines and expect that it, you know, somehow makes sense. I feel like the origin of the boxes is important. So we have these boxes and we have individual laying in them. Draw the rectangle base in perspective and use the same division lines. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, so it's... I'm trying to explain it for you, even though I kind of get it, but I'm learning it. It's saying that if you have... Oh, gosh, I'm drawing in white. That's not helping at all. If you have this box, okay, and you have a human in it, arms, person, hips, okay, they will divide up in a certain way. And when you take it into perspective like I did, find the horizon point and then figure out the vanishing point lines to create like that same box, when you go to draw it, those lines should be in similar spots. So like if these are where the hips are here, then this is where the knees will be, then this is where the feet will be, and this is where the hands will end. Oh, this is the middle chest area. Right, even though it's in perspective, where the stuff is doesn't change based on the lines. If we had him lay down even more, this is really sloppy, but it'd be head. The knees would still be here. The feet would be here. The hips would be here. No, chest would still be in here. Arms would still end here. This is how you figure out how to pose the poses. I'm also learning this right now as I go. I can explain it, I understand it, but I'm also actively learning it right now. I'm actively learning it in a way that I'm hoping to be able to utilize it. But this is the process. It's a lot more... I mean, in some ways it makes it a lot easier, in some ways it makes it more complicated because you're not eyeballing it anymore. Let's find the actual horizon line. So if this is the vanishing point, it's a very extreme angle. Our vanishing point was like, you know, way, way up here. Can't even see where my mouse is going, but it was way high, right? So there's that. So there's that little tidbit. So that's kind of what it's explaining as far as the perspective, like the perspective reference lines. But let's see if I can get a decent pose out of it. All right, we've got the chest rolling like this. Shoulders, shoulders, shoulder, no, circle. Elbow circle, wrist circle, wrist circle. So over here, knee, ankle. Head would still be somewhere in there. Okay, we have the ears are low because the head is looking up. So complicated. And the nose is looking up too. So these are the nostrils. The eyes are somewhere in there. Okay. We've got, this is the bottom of the chest. So we have a rib type of line here. Again. Knee. In theory, you should be able to do this with any pose. If you find a cool pose and you just want to change the perspective of it, everything should basically go in the same spot. I'm not going to draw the whole foot. And then you should be able to figure out for your stuff how to get a decent pose out of it. I know that's been really tricky for me. That's probably the most tricky thing for me. How do I make my poses more dynamic? How do I make them make sense within the space? How? This is sort of the science of it. All right, this foot is more like in the reference. Then, oh, I've made these feet like too big. Hang on. You're too big, feet. You should be about half that size according to my reference. So we have knee here. This leg comes down. Nope. It comes down here-ish. We got calf. And calf too. I really thought the feet would be bigger from this angle, but I'm going to work with the reference and hope for the best. Let's see. And then, you know, it's showing where the abs are, which means the stomach line is somewhere in here. Right. It's actually a little bit higher. I think. I mean, this is... Now if I take away my guides, should be a decent looking person, you know, lying down. It looks like they're in a chamber or something preparing to be powered up, or they're being stored, or yeah, I don't know. I feel this feels very Captain America-esque to me before they take him out of the chamber. But I think I also think the knee's a little higher. Once you get it here, you know, there's no reason you can't eyeball it a little bit. It's your drawing, do what you want. The only thing that surprises me here, it doesn't look right. I mean, they look okay, is the feet. The feet really, really surprise me. by how small they are. Otherwise, it's been very helpful. Looks like this leg comes even higher. I was right, they're even higher. Okay. There's the lying down pose, and again, with this perspective, this idea of perspective in here. If I was going to do it over here, I guess I'll just do it for example's sake really quick, or maybe I'll get a good reference out of it. No. We have this foot and this foot. Obviously, they're in the foreground. Then we have, let's see, where would this be? Maybe like that. I mean, from this angle, you're gonna see basically the chest, shoulders, arms, maybe just the chin. Same kind of stuff. All right, so see, even there it helped. I mean, it's believable. These are the same, just from a different angle. And then if he was standing here, I mean, I don't even know that I have to draw him, but. It's just this guy lying down. That's really cool. I feel like that was eye-opening even for me to try to break down and explain. Because I think, like I said, perspective and foreshortening for me, I find to be quite hard. And it's very new. And so I have to try really hard to do it. But that is very useful for foreshortening, I think. I want to do another one. What should we do? What should we do? Let's see. Costumes, costume villains. I don't want to use for costumes because I want to design my own outfits. All right, I'm gonna try something on my own and see if I've actually learned anything in however long I've been doing this, the past month. I'm gonna try to use the same exact technique. See if I can't get like I'm gonna do a girl. What should she be doing? I don't know what she should be doing. I need a reference just for an idea of the pose. Maybe she's just like sitting. Get her to sit. I don't know. I'm not totally 100% sure I can do this, but I'm going to try. And we will experiment and see if it works. And if it works, I'll be psyched. Just looking at something. Again, I'm not, this is called by the book, but I'm not on the book right now. I'm just kind of winging it to see if I can apply some of these skills that I've been trying to learn for the past several weeks. All right. I'll just cross our legs. That'll make it easier. I don't really know what to do with this leg. Yeah, cool. Okay. So we have sitting girl. I don't think I may have accidentally applied some perspective here, but what I'm going to do is give her shoulders, legs, that's where the feet are, here's where the head is, right. Bear with me. Then I'm going to, hang on, this will make it easier. Change the color of this to something. All right. And let's say I want the perspective to be more of an up angle. Okay. So, judging by the last one, the shoulder would still be here. The hand will be under here. If I can do this, I will be so excited. If this ends up being believable, then I will have unlocked a skill that it has eluded me for years. Years, you guys. If I could finally learn how to do this, this would be just the best. Okay. So let's assume there's a shoulder there. The head is near the top. Takes up that much space. And the hand is like not even part of it. Elbow. Okay, so if we're looking at this elbow is like maybe 3/4 the way up. So if we divide this, so this elbow is actually here. This is crazy. And then this shoulder is like, you know, 3/4 of the way here. So this way. Okay, yeah. Oh my god, am I really getting this? I don't want to cry. Okay. This is, whoops. Okay, this is the center. Oh, if this is the center of this whole arm, should be over. I don't know if that part translates. I'm gonna say it does. And then her head is here. She's still looking up. Here. According to this. Still the shoulder. The shoulders turn more. Bottom's here. This knee comes way up. Like a cross. And then this other line. So the foot's like somewhere in here. And then this knee. Doesn't go that low though. So what's wrong here? Oh, because this is supposed to be all much higher. Sit here. I think I did it. Wow, I don't know if my brain will remember that I did it or how I did it. I only think this, I think this foot comes past this line here because, well, it definitely does. It comes here, so it's outside. But I also think it's a little longer just because we're seeing maybe the foot, but I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be more like this. Based on my original pose. Because it's coming out. I feel like that's another level of perspective that I haven't quite mastered yet. Because of course, if we're seeing it from above, this foot starts to flatten out, you know? But it is crossed over. We do. Well, okay. The ankle's still like there. Or her Toby here. That's so sloppy. It's gonna make sense in a sec. I'm a very, very sloppy sketcher. I just am. If you're a neat sketcher, good for you. I am not. Alright, here's this one. Crossing this line really close to this side. Oh, and it looks like from here, at least the way I drew it, that this foot, this ankle is like here. This foot actually just sits like that. Wow. I mean, it's not perfect. I get it. I get it's not perfect, but I just applied the skill I've been trying to explain for a month. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. I want to give her like a bun or something. Let's see the back of her head. I think in reality her head would be turned a little bit more. But that is amazing, actually. I did not think that was possible. That's crazy. How can you do it again? Let's see how it'd be the other way. Okay, so, yeah, oh, you know what? Let's get this. She really needs a stool. I feel like a stool will help. Sell it a little bit more. Okay, all right. I feel encouraged by this. So we have, again, shoulder here, shoulder here, her elbows in here. Yeah, the stool comes down. Oh, I think the stool comes, I think all of this a bit more. Stool's like in the middle. So his hand needs to come like here. There's the hand. Still like in the middle. Doing an up angle now. A lot of it's a relationship with the knee now. See, it's about a third of the way up. So up here it's going to be like a third of the way up. And then here this knee is down in this. The other, her hip is like here, so. This is, what? I don't even know. It is the bottom of the foot. Is it? That's kind of hard. It's like that. Sort of. I'm not sure about that, but that's definitely kind of where the foot goes. I feel like it's really flat or something. Hang on, I gotta play with this foot. It's somewhere in here. The toe is pointed down. I think this is the toe. It's more like that. Right then. No, our arm comes up in the top third. Now, I recognize this is not down to perfection. But look at how much more interesting and still believable, I feel. Like just an extreme angle, just that shift in that box. Wow, thanks book. Thank you, Draw Comics with Dick Giordano. Oh, I think I'm starting to get it. Oh, man. Totally from scratch, able to do foreshortened perspective. That is great. I don't even know what to say. That is great. I kind of just want to like keep playing with the poses now. You never know when things will click. I mean, it can be like explained and explained. And I know it's not perfect. I know it's not perfect, guys. I know it, but holy cow, bridal party. Look at this beautiful. Look at her holding her thing. Because at least you can tweak it from here. It's a start. You know, yeah, the feet aren't right. Maybe you just play with how they are. Maybe it comes out a little bit more to make that more believable. But getting a blueprint in to how to get it started is like super crucial. Honestly, I feel like I can draw anything now. I mean, I thought I could draw before, but doing dynamic poses always really intimidated me, and it still absolutely does. It's still, I have so much more to learn. It still absolutely does. But just that little sense of knowing the grid on relationships and how to use this grid. They always tell you, like, use the grid or use the perspective, but being able to apply it on my own is really exciting. That's not where that goes. I can tell based on the grid. And I think I inadvertently did the, like I put her in a bit of a box. Like a perspective box, you know? I think I inadvertently did that. But I think if I actually really tried to do it next time, like if I gave her real, like if I really put her, well, that's interesting. If I really put her in a box with space, then that box would translate to this box. And then all the stuff would fit, it would correspond to that box. This is a huge, it's not a breakthrough because, you know, artists have known this for centuries, but it is a minor experimental breakthrough for me, and I'm excited to be able to apply these skills moving forward. That's exactly why I was trying to do the experiment in the first place, was so I could learn how to really do poses. I'm kind of speechless. I don't know what to say. I think that is, I mean, I did 3 completely believable angles on a pose that I totally made up. No reference. No reference. Practice is paying off. This is exciting. I really did not know what to expect for today. Honestly, I was getting kind of tired of the how to draw books. But boy, am I happy I stuck with it. I think it's really paid off. I didn't expect this. I don't know. I mean, I can do the clothes like if I wanted to turn her into something, you know, and this is the fun part. This is the thing that I think keeps people back from really learning how to make their drawings believable, is because eyelashes and clothing and jewelry and, you know, the where you have an eyeball, whoops, jeez. I want that. Where you have your eyeball and you draw the, I don't know what they're called, but the lines, and then you get into the highlights. Okay, great. You've done all that. But if the rest of your face looks like this, you know, and it's all wonky and you've drawn your, you know, it looks weird no matter how detailed and beautiful your eyeball is with your wonderful eyelashes that you no doubt spent lots of time on trying to make it right, and then you move on to the rest of your drawing and it's wrong. That's why you spent too much time doing the detail before adding any of the, or enough of the structure. When something looks off, it's because enough of the structure, the underlying structure, isn't there. But when you have the structure, you know, if you want to go in, I'm so excited about this pose. I don't even know. This is where I'm going to mess it up, though, because the detail's hard, too. Detail's still hard. I mean, I think this is a bit of a guessing game, but... if we go in, this is where I guess we'll find out whether my work paid off and it's believable. You know, say she's got... said I want to give her like a bun. No, this is wild. I had no idea. I mean, I did, but I had no idea I'd figure this out. You know. Still don't know what she's, like, holding. I just assumed it was like a magic orb. showing the future. I haven't done the hand any justice. I got where the hand is, but let's see if I can make this actually worthwhile. Alright, so she's holding something. Not perfect, but let's give her like a whole t-shirt. This really did not click for me until this week. I was doing foreshortening in the other stream, finding it to be really helpful, and then hoping it would work for my figure art. Because again, I consider myself more of a character artist, so let's see what happens. I don't know that I totally like this foot. This is also, you know, what's the point of having all those poses? I'm not going to use it to actually draw anything. And then if you can do this, you can look up, instead of, you know, taking the pose for 100%, like I was saying earlier, maybe something's obscured, or maybe you just want to switch out the hand, or maybe you want the hand to be holding something. It empowers you to be able to do that and keep it all. I mean, look at that. It looks like she's reaching up. That's crazy. Wow. Just wow. And again, you can always tweak it. If it doesn't look totally right, make it even more. Cheat it even more. You know? I don't know that I like that. Oh, maybe I do. Yeah, I mean, my only point is maybe it's better, but you can play with it after to find out. It may be more accurate, yes, because the bun is supposed to be inside. See here? It's supposed to be inside the box. However, she is supposed to be... Her Her head is kind of like... Again, this is just, again, to show example how to get there, what to do with it after you have it. So you make the pose, you find the pose, you get the reference, and then hopefully, with any luck, you'll get something you can actually work with. I'm just chuffed. I'm so excited. Because it's such a good, at least a starting point. That's great. I didn't know it was possible. I really didn't know it was possible. I mean, I knew it was possible because I've been starting the experiment trying to draw better, but I didn't actually think it would happen. I did not think. So now that we have the clothes over here, you know, we can translate it over to this one. Up here. I mean, that foot's not right. But that's not the point. You can fix the foot. You can fix all of it, but getting there, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now I know, like I said, these could be better if I was really using the perspective the fullest. And really, you know, spend time making it three-dimensional. We're seeing the bottom of the hand. The under part of the t-shirt there. Oh, this is where it's gonna get tricky, I think. I feel like the whole head kind of needed to be in perspective for this to work. Let's try this. So again, I mean, it's not perfect. It's downright weird, actually. But this has proven to be a very exciting experiment today. I mean, totally freehand, foreshortened. Did not think it was possible. Wow. Wow. This seems really silly, but it has taken me like years to learn this very fundamental technique. And to be able to utilize it like that after practicing this month is really exciting. It definitely makes me feel justified in trying it. Like I'm on the right track, and I really needed it. That's the other thing. I really needed to be able to do it. Wow. I just want to draw like everything in foreshortened and perspective all the time, which brings up another thing. Not everything should always be foreshortened and perspective, but used with, you know, having the option to do it at least. Oh, it's so exciting. This made my day. This is great. I mean, if I can do it, any of you can too. This here is a fundamental. I mean, it's not like when you are talented, okay, like somebody with a really good voice is naturally talented, and they still have to work at it, but it's like no matter what, I'll never have, you know, Moana's or Elsa's voice, and that ability to sing. But drawing is a skill that you can work on, because there are many ways to be able to break it down and make it easier. So it's very comforting. It's good to know. It's something that can always improve. There's always something new to learn with it. Trying to make an inspirational TED Talk, but I'm just very inspired, I think, by the fact that this ended up really, really teaching me something. I can't emphasize enough that I didn't know how to do this before. So let me just close out the stream by adding some shading. I don't know, where should should this be the light source? Why not? Let's go for it. I don't know. Light source is my next thing, but this is such a, I wish I had a little celebratory. I wonder if I can send my own little GIF in the chat. Can I? No. Can I? How do I do it? Oh man, you guys, I need to learn how to use Twitch better. For real. It's a sad state of affairs. I don't have my own? I really thought I did. I thought I uploaded some. Flurg. Oh well. Maybe I'll figure out where to upload some of those. later, but I did make a Discord. And I figured out this perspective. So let's make this little orb the light source. Boop, boop, boop. I'll put a little light bulb there as a reminder. So let's give it, it's a terrible light bulb. There we go. This is the light source. So anything that this light is hitting is illuminated. Anything that it's not is in shadow, right? So probably in shadow. Maybe the front, but certainly not the inside of the ear here. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely going to tackle light next. Maybe that's going to be my next reference book. It's just going to be focusing. My next by the book. I really needed some direction. My next by the book is definitely going to be lighting. 100%. I'm going to go get another reference book that'll maybe just deal with poses and lighting and just work from there. And then after that, color. Even though I think I plan on making the Alchemist Bride comic traditional manga style black and white. I'd like the option to be able to color, especially like the covers. Okay, so this is not going to be exposed to the light. None of this is going to be exposed to the light back here. So that's all shadow. The knee is getting a lot of it. This is not getting any of it here. Probably it's under. Well, let's see. It's probably going to be a bit of a shadow. None of this for sure. Maybe the side of that leg. Don't think much of that is getting it. Got cocky. I had a little bit of success and thought I could suddenly master lighting too. It's its own thing, man. They have people that just do lighting, and my hat's off to them. I think there are parts of the foot, maybe. Okay, let's try it down here. Same thing. This is the lighting source. Not under the chin, not down here, here. Probably still none of this. Yep, still none of this. In fact, this whole area, not getting much of this light. Right, the under part of this leg, not sitting on the light. The under part of this foot. Maybe that ankle, maybe this back part. This still, yep, this whole foot also. Maybe a sliver coming through. Back part of the hair, under the nose. This part of the arm. Right. Wow, guys. Wow. That's the end of this experiment for today. I think it was a successful one. I think my hypothesis is getting closer and closer to correct. And yeah, I think this one was a successful one. Next time I'm going to focus more on lighting and seeing what happens there, because that is definitely, despite what you just saw here, that was like kind of practice, but I want to definitely experiment with that some more. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much. On Thursday I will be back because the palace is done. I'm gonna draw it from a different angle. So thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye. Here's my mouse. Okay.